Hey, what's up guys, Josh Boosters here and welcome back to another One Piece video. So I do realize I'm a little bit late to uploading this video since it's already been 3 days since they announced the ban list and the block rotation. But I've been busy traveling back home specifically. And even though I know 3 days in internet time is like forever, I still really wanted to do this video because I do have some thoughts. And I've seen a lot of negative response to the block rotation specifically. I think everybody's pretty much fine with the ban list. And I just want to address some positive things about the block rotation. And my thoughts on that, basically. But also I want to go over the ban list, of course. I'll keep it brief, since there is not that much to say. But first we're going to go over the ban list. And after that I'm going to talk about the block rotation real quick. So yeah, let's take a look at the ban list here. So of course there is 4 new banned cards, and the first one is Gecko Moria. I mean, we kind of had it coming, right? Probably the best card printed in this game. I do really like Bandai is giving out an explanation as to why these cards got banned. So you know, it has like a high usage rate in deck that include black cards, obviously, and I really like they also mention like there's no restriction for the leader it can be used or the character cards it can play, which makes it a little bit overpowered. And then I did a ban list prediction video a couple weeks back when they announced the ban list would be coming, and they actually mention here, which I think is funny because it's something I mentioned as well, is we have also determined that developing an 8-cost card that can match or exceed this card's performance will be difficult in the future. So it's exactly as I said in that video. Like every time they print like an 8-cost black card, I read it, I'm like, oh, this card is cool, it might be good in like this or that deck, and I'm like, at 8 I can also just play Moria, which is just always better, right? And I really feel like the design team probably ran into that problem as well as Moria just preventing like other cards being printed in the future, right? Because it's really hard to design like good cards, because you always have to keep in mind, okay, Moria exists, can this card be played by Moria, and if so, like what broken interactions can that cause? All in all, obviously, I'm a little bit, I wouldn't say sad because it was coming. But of course I like playing Lucci, and this is like a big hit to Lucci, but Lucci definitely had it coming. Moria ban is a-okay in my book. The only thing that really surprises me is that they didn't bring back the Sakazuki leader, which I felt like if they banned Moria, they would probably bring back Sakazuki, but they didn't. But it is what it is. It would have been fun to play that again, but yeah. Then they actually banned Jinbei, which I didn't expect. Again, in the ban list video I predicted they would ban Law, actually, but they did go for Jinbei in the end. As they say, like when combined with the leader, Don Quixote, Doflamingo, or the structure deck Marshall D. Teach, those cards will allow you to play out multiple cards in the early game, and that is just very hard to deal with for pretty much every deck, except for Lucci, right? And this also is like, much like Moria, it will be hard for them to print 4 costs that are like equal or superior to Jinbei in the future, which I get. So again, kind of betting Jinbei with future card design in mind. I don't have much to say about this. I think it's good. I do think Dofi will still be like a good deck, and maybe not tier 1, but actually it might be. I don't think this hit is huge. It does definitely make the Dofi deck less powerful. But I also think that had to happen, like Dofi was for so long so strong. Even though now it's kind of phasing out in the East with like the new Luffy leaders and stuff, but yeah. Then, this kind of surprised me, Ice Age. They say like, although there are many cards with which share this card's ability to lower cost, this card is the only one that can significantly lower the cost of a character for just 1 cost. Synergize Extreme Bow with other cards with effect rely on cost. Yep. And again, there is the concern that any future cards which rely on cost will have to be developed with this card in mind, and they really don't seem to like that, so this card got the ban hammer as well. Again, I think, honestly, I feel like it probably wasn't necessary to ban this card if they banned Moria, but again, with future card design in mind, I can see the ban of this. But personally, with just like Jinbei and Moria, I'm perfectly fine. The Ice Age hit is, I think, a little bit overkill for black. But we'll see. And then the other kind of strange hit, I think, is Kingdom Come. So although this card is one of the many event cards with the ability to remove opponent's character cards with its effect, when used in combination with the leader Enel, the synergy between this card's removal effect and the leader defensive ability proved to be more powerful than anticipated. And again, there is also the concern that having to develop cards with this combination in mind will greatly limit the future development of high-cost character cards. So I think they specifically are afraid of the combination of going Kingdom Come into a high drop that heals with the Enel leader in mind, so they banned this. I'm not sure what I feel about this. Yes, this card is very, very strong, no doubt. And I won't miss this card at all, but I do think it's like a significant hit to Enel, and I'm really not sure if that was necessary. However, I do still think Enel is probably playable, even without this card, but yeah, we'll see. And this is going to go into effect on April 1st for us. So that means there is going to be one more regional in Europe, with like OP10 as well as the old ban list, and then after that it's all gonna be OP10 with the new ban list. Yeah, all in all, I think the ban list was fine. Pretty good ban list. Moria for sure had to go, especially with future card design in mind, like I said before, and like they also said. And Jinbei, I mean, Dovi had to be a hit, and yeah, Jinbei definitely was one of the prime contenders, and then the other cards I'm not sure about, but I'm not upset about it either. Then going into talking about block rotation, I've mostly seen a lot of negative feedback about the block rotation, and I've personally never played a game with set rotation before. I mean, I did play a little bit of Pokemon, but I never played it so long that actually I got into contact with set rotation, to put it like that. And I do realize people don't like their cards becoming obsolete, like cards lower value because of set rotation. And I really think that in the One Piece community, a lot of people are also just upset, I guess, that they at some point won't be able to play like their favorite leader cards. Which I get and I share. I really like playing like certain characters and stuff for a long time. And set rotation is of course going to affect me in that way as well. However, I do think there's also a lot of good things about block rotation. Let's just put it up here, like the slides they showed. So basically, for now we have 3 block numbers, and starting in April 2026, we are going to be able to play OP5 and onwards for championships and official tournaments. So there will still be tournaments where you can play like all the blocks, which I think is cool. I do enjoy having like different formats to play in. We had that with Digimon as well, which I thought was cool, but it is cool that like championships and official tournaments will mostly still use the same format basically. Then, like, let's first just delve into what the block system is. So aside from that, they announced they will be reprinting certain cards with like new block icons, like they use Nami as an example here. So they will definitely be reprinting like Nami with just a different block icon, so you can still play Nami, and then you will also still be able to play the cards with the one block icon, so you don't have to like buy a new set of Nami when you already have a set of Nami, which I think is good. And then they also mentioned like the manga rares for some reason will not be affected by the block rotation, which is, I don't know, cool, I guess. Don't really have much to say. I just think it's good that they already announced like some cards from older blocks will be playable in the new block rotation system. I just think it's a little bit weird, I guess, that they announced this block rotation system and then they already announced there will be exceptions. And I also think like having a ban list and block rotation is a little bit could be a little bit overkill. Let's put it like that. I'm not sure if it will be. But yeah, like there's also a lot of good things about block rotation. It keeps the game easier accessible for new players, which I think is definitely good. Like if you step into the game now, you already have like, 10 sets you have to probably get cards from to build a deck. Or maybe not 10 sets, right? But the card pool is pretty large, so it will be easier for new people to step into the block system. And then it will also be easier for the design team, I think, to keep card design fresh. Because if you have a large card pool, let's just take a look at Yu-Gi-Oh! The card pool is so large, and every time like new cards are printed, people will discover like super broken interactions with certain older cards that were never intended, kind of breaking the format. And with the block rotation system, this will I'm pretty sure not gonna happen in One Piece, which is a good thing. Trust me, I played Yu-Gi-Oh! And certain card interactions that popped up sometimes in that game, they were not fun and definitely not how like the devs had the game in mind when printing these cards. It will also, which is probably the best thing, keep power creep minimized, which I also think is a really good thing, even though they did just announce like the 7k Roger, right? But who knows what the effect is, so that might not be that bad, but we'll see. Let's say it like this. Power creep is necessary because they want you to buy new products, right? Bandai is a business, they need to make money, and if like older sets have better cards than the new sets, there is no incentive to buy the new set because you are just gonna play the older cards. So power creep is a necessary evil. That's just how it is. Newer cards have to be slightly better than older cards because they want you to play with those cards. And that's perfectly fine. However, if there's no set rotation, power creep just has to keep going and going and going and going forever until you end with something like Yu-Gi-Oh! I sound like a real bitter Yu-Gi-Oh! Hater here, but it is what it is. And with this, power creep is limited, basically, because the card pool is just smaller, so power creep doesn't have to be that big. And also, lastly, it keeps deck building fresh because cards are gonna rotate out and you're gonna have to basically find replacements for those cards, and that's just, in my opinion, a lot of fun. Like, at some point, I don't know, 8-cost kit is gonna rotate out, right, since it was an OP1, and then green decks, they're gonna have to like think of another strategy to build their deck around, which in my opinion is very healthy and very fresh for the game. So I really think it's not all that bad. Of course, like I mentioned earlier, there are things that are more unfun about set rotation, but I really think probably like popular leaders, they might reprint those with like new block icons and stuff like that. Because, for example, I think Reiju has a support from like the different blocks, so then it just becomes kind of weird what you're gonna do with those cards. Maybe not Reiju, but there's definitely like leaders that have this problem, and I really think Bandai is thinking about this and they will take care of that. So I really don't think it's necessary to stress. I think it's very good and healthy for the game, and it's gonna mean that this game is gonna last longer than a lot of other Bandai games. Yeah, video took longer than expected, actually, because I just had a lot to say about this. I think, a lot of rambling. Next Sunday, gonna do some more gameplay. Yeah, that's it. Leave a like, leave a comment. What are your thoughts on the ban list? What are your thoughts on the rotation? Subscribe if you haven't yet, and if you do, I'll see you in the next one. Bye.